A lot of people have heard about this topic, but there's still a lot of confusion, curiosity, and even misinformation surrounding it. Some people think it's essential, others think it's overrated, and many simply don't understand what's actually happening. The truth is, this is one of those areas where perception is heavily shaped by media, assumptions, and personal experiences rather than clear, science-based understanding. So let's start with the basics. This phenomenon refers to the release of fluid during moments of high arousal or climax in some women. It doesn't happen to everyone, and that's completely normal. In fact, one of the most important things to understand right away is that this is not a requirement for pleasure, satisfaction, or a fulfilling experience. It's simply one possible response among many. To understand it better, it helps to look at the anatomy involved. The body has structures around the urinary pathway that are believed to play a role in this process. During arousal, these areas can become more active, and as the body reaches peak stimulation, muscle contractions can lead to the release of fluid. This fluid can vary in amount and composition, and research suggests that it may include a mix of different bodily fluids. What's interesting is that there's also a distinction between different types of fluid release. Some involve a smaller amount of fluid associated with specific glands, while others involve a larger release that people commonly refer to in popular culture. These differences often get blurred together, which adds to the confusion. Because there hasn't been a huge amount of research historically, much of what people believe comes from media portrayals. This creates unrealistic expectations and can make people feel like they're supposed to experience something in a certain way. That's why studies that actually explore real experiences are so important. In one such study, researchers focused on women who reported experiencing this phenomenon and asked them to describe their personal perceptions and feelings about it. What they found was not a single universal experience, but a wide range of perspectives that varied significantly from person to person. For some women, the experience was associated with a sense of excitement, discovery, and even empowerment. They described it as something unique that made them feel more in tune with their bodies. In certain cases, individuals had actively explored their bodies and learned about this response over time, which added to their sense of confidence and awareness. Others described a very different experience. For them, it wasn't something they paid much attention to, or it didn't feel particularly significant compared to other aspects of intimacy. Some didn't even realize it was happening until afterward, which highlights how varied awareness and perception can be. There were also individuals who felt uncomfortable or unsure about it. In some cases, the uncertainty came from not knowing what was happening, leading to confusion or embarrassment. Cultural influences, personal beliefs, and partner reactions all played a role in shaping how they felt about it. If someone grows up in an environment where topics like this are not openly discussed, it's more likely they may feel uncertain or even anxious about their own experiences. One of the most important takeaways from all of this is that there is no single correct response. Just because one person experiences something doesn't mean another person should or will. Human bodies are incredibly diverse, and responses to stimulation can vary widely. Another key point is the role of mindset and environment. When someone feels safe, relaxed, and free from pressure, their body is more likely to respond naturally. On the other hand, stress, anxiety, or performance pressure can interfere with the body's natural responses. This is true for many aspects of intimacy, not just this one. It's also worth mentioning that communication plays a huge role. Partners who are open, understanding, and non-judgmental create a space where both people can explore and understand their bodies without pressure or expectation. When communication is lacking, misunderstandings can easily arise. What often gets overlooked is that satisfaction in intimacy is not defined by one specific outcome. It's about connection, comfort, and mutual enjoyment. Focusing too much on achieving a particular response can actually take away from the overall experience. Another interesting aspect is how perception can change over time. Some individuals who initially felt confused or uncomfortable later developed a better understanding and became more accepting of their experiences. Others remained indifferent, which again reinforces the idea that there is no universal reaction. Education plays a big role in reducing confusion. When people understand the science behind what's happening, it becomes easier to separate myths from reality. Instead of relying on unrealistic portrayals, they can form a more balanced and informed perspective. It's also important to normalize the idea that not experiencing this is completely fine. There is no evidence to suggest that it reflects the quality of someone's experience or their ability to feel pleasure. Comparing oneself to others, especially based on media portrayals, can create unnecessary pressure. At the same time, for those who do experience it, understanding that it's a natural bodily response can help reduce feelings of embarrassment or confusion. Knowing that others have similar experiences can be reassuring and empowering. Ultimately, what matters most is how individuals feel about their own bodies and experiences. Whether someone views it as something positive, neutral, or even inconvenient, their perspective is valid. The goal should always be comfort, confidence, and understanding. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, this topic becomes less about a specific physical response and more about awareness, education, and acceptance. The more people understand, the less stigma and confusion there will be. So, if there's one thing to take away, it's this: there is a wide spectrum of normal. Some people experience this, some don't, and neither is better or worse. What truly matters is that you feel comfortable, informed, and confident in your own experience. And as always, prioritizing your overall well-being, staying informed, and maintaining open communication will always lead to a healthier and more positive approach to intimacy.